Yeah, the QI system, because of the mechanics of manifestation, because that's what we're doing. Remanifestation is recoding, which is reprogramming. That's bioregenesis. What is the function of genetic engineering? Experience holograms. Living DNA is living energy. So I've always kept this simple. I did a video about a year ago because I learned through experience what I am. The energetic environment that I'm operating in, operating an operating system. Living DNA is living, conscious, self-aware energy. So Ashaya was doing the mechanics, did a presentation on the channel Amaria Earth, okay? And she talked about what is really what I call in your face. It's just simple. And that is, so I used the example when I did a video about a year ago about this house. So I showed what nature is. Here's a good example of what I was processing just the other day. The property owner, using his electrical power, was transferring electrical power from his biometric magnetic account, which would be a bank account like a magnetic strip, to pay a guy that's got a bulldozer. So the bulldozer comes out here and just rips up all that beautiful green, electric green living DNA energy that was rooted in the planetary battery of living life force energy, okay, and destroyed it. Now you change the echo map. So which was once alive and living and blowing in the wind with the electrical currents is no longer there, is it? So now we're back to the soil, the elements. So now that person has that bulldozer was transferred as an electrical transaction as allocation numbers tied directly to the solar code of the encryption code of that being, that genetic engineering, the consciousness that is running those codes that the property owner is running. The cellular breathing. Cells love to breathe. So now the echo map changes, right? And now when I look out there yesterday, it replaced itself. It recovered. Wow, now it grew back again. And it didn't take any time at all. So the echo map recharged itself and brought life back in, the living DNA of living electrical green plants like chlorophyll. So I thought to myself, in time and distance, the time that it took for the property owner to acquire the electrons in order to transfer those electrons to another electrical being that destroyed the living plants, and how fast life renewed itself and came back. Leave it alone. Because the use of the electrical power to destroy that does what? Reduces their own electrical speed, because we're running a calculator, which is our own record. The temperature gauge, the vacuum gauge, the temperature gauge. So she mentioned a beautiful explanation that what I see in my mirror is by virtue of what I am on the inside as an engine of creation. The eternal engine is the first field. The eternal state of awareness is eternal energy. I'm aware of what I am in energy, which is what love is. So naturally, everything that I see in my mirror is experiencing what I am, which is what love is. So if I go killing off a tree, right, in order to build a house, because to build a house, like a bill, an electric bill and materials, and that's what Congress does. They're sending us electric bills. And yet we are the source of the electric field. And that's counterintuitive, isn't it? That's counter space. That's the negative 13 reversal spiral. They keep killing more of what they don't love in order to experience in the future compressing their nucleotides and running Nova programs, which is the fighting code, which is the killer code. That's quarantine. That's quarantine status. So a status update is an encryption update to protect our original crystal body, our crystal creative spark, the first spark that lit the first flame, the still point. So it's what I feel on the inside. And that's what it does. It siphons off our feelings. I can feel what it does right now through my left hand just holding this phone. So that we don't feel anymore. To reduce what? Our level of sensitivity. That's why it's what we call a no-brainer. Why they would rip the gold and silver out of the ground on the planet. Now we're feeling less sensitive and going numb. Now we don't have any feelings left to experience pure, eternal, absolute love in our heart for all sacred life. So now what we see in our mirror becomes a source of what? Electrical power to keep reducing the temperature and reducing our electrical speed. So what happens is they keep reducing their speed, which is to experience being more magnetic. And what happens? That's a loss in the delivery of what? The electron transport of heat, fuel, and oxygen. Cells love to breathe water. The oxygen in water. Like phytoplankton. That's why we're here. A service organization performing planetary service to restore the law, cosmic law, which is what love is, which is what light is, which is real light. I know. So this is just another file share, which is just essentially the same story, right? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And we experience that result in our mirror, in our own mirrors. I know, Mama. So that's a great video for those that choose to want to learn through what, for us, for me, what I am, I'm Anu Aya, is so obvious. You know, just like when I was a little boy, I acknowledged the loss and gain of electrical life force power. So I'm experiencing a loss in me because I'm experiencing that loss in the others. The other. And the other is not what love is. So the other is artificial. Because it's finite. Desperate. That's why it harvests. That's why they harvest DNA. Upload the data. And now we get into competitors of genetic engineering competition. They need the data.